Today I'm working with one photo and a sketch. Welcome back to Emilee's Paper Caper, where you'll find inspiration to scrap your stash and get some pages done. Now let's take a look at the sketch I'm using today. This is the August sketch from the Let's Get Sketchy blog. I will also put a link to it down in the description of this video. I love the monthly sketches from this blog and try to use them each month. So let's get started. This is the photo I'm working with today. It was taken after we saw the Spider-Man movie over the July 4th holiday. My younger daughter Audrey was working at the theater. She is an usher there part-time. And so by the time the movie got out, she was off shift and came home with us. It worked out great. So I'm double matting the photo, and I've selected some papers for the background. One is a Spider-Man theme paper, which I thought was a lot of fun since the movie we saw was Spider-Man. This will be the background paper. It's kind of got circular designs on it that made me think of Spider-Man webs. And it's also sort of red, white, and blue, which is great because we saw this over the July 4th weekend. So that's why I picked this as my base paper. The first thing I do when I know I'm going to use a 12 by 12 piece of paper is get rid of the branding strip. So I've had this Fiskars paper trimmer. I've used it exclusively for many, many years. And so it works great for all my trimming, and I'm just going to go ahead and get those branding strips taken off of both the pattern papers I'm using. One is the Spider-Man and the other is a movie-themed pattern paper. The sketch calls for a layered background, so I'm just going to take a 3 or 4 inch strip of this movie-themed paper. I'm going to snip off an end with a pattern scissor just to, I don't know, give a little texture. I always have pattern scissors nearby, and I enjoy using them just to add something a little bit different to the pages. So I'll snip that edge off and starting to build the page now. So I'm going to go to the Spider-Man paper, and I need to decide kind of a square or a rectangle off of this Spider-Man paper to use. I've decided that I like the images in this quadrant, so I'm just going to trim those off with my scissors, and we will continue to build this page. Now I have most of the elements for the page ready to go, so I'm going to start positioning them. This is going to be a collage type of layout where I just layer things and arrange things and see how I like it, and then make adjustments along the way. I thought this red strip that came out of my border box would be a good foundational element, kind of to give a shelf for the elements to sort of rest on, or to rest the eye across the page. Spider-Man often flies on his webs between buildings, so I have this border strip that was cut with a Creative Memory border maker. It's of a cityscape, so I'm going to put that along the bottom, and I will build the page title on top of that. I have some arrows that have been in my stash for some time. They're a chipboard arrow that are self-adhesive, so I'm going to use some of those. I also have some tickets that were an embellishment. I was given these by a friend a long time ago, and I thought the tickets would be kind of a cute way to embellish on the movie page. Now we need to adhere all the elements to the background page. I'm using my ATG gun to do that. This is my favorite adhesive by far. There are other adhesives in my stash, but I use the ATG gun most of the time. I think it's the most affordable for refills, and they last quite a long time. And so I feel like this is the adhesive for me. I used to try lots of different adhesives and just never found one that I wanted to stick with until I got the ATG gun, and I've really used it exclusively, or almost exclusively, for many years now. So I tend to just put a couple strips of adhesive in the corners, and I'm going to go ahead and get the elements down on this page. I like to arrange things first and then go back and adhere things, and sometimes things change a little bit when I get to adhering, but mostly it's that pre-setup before I start adhering things that really helps my pages go together pretty quickly. And keep our ticket stubs when we go to the movies, and ordinarily I would put those on this page, but I can't find them, so I'm going to add these tickets that are an embellishment to the page instead. If I do find our actual ticket stubs, I'll add those later. And then I also have these chipboard arrows. I thought they were kind of comic book-ish, and so I thought that they would look good on this page, give some fun elements, some sense of direction and movement on the page. So I really like these. They've been in my stash for some time. They're from Bo Bunny, and they actually are self-adhesive. You just have to pull off that cover on the back, and then they just glue right down to the page. I think they look pretty good. Last thing to do on this page is to add the page title, which will be across the bottom, across that cityscape punched border. I'm going to use these black letter stickers and write Spiderman. I really like how this turned out. It was a fun day. It was a great movie, and I can't wait for the next Spider-Man movie to come out. Until next time, keep on scrapping, everybody. Thanks for watching.